Hello, Bear 5. Ever since we have a monthly evaluation right on Tuesday, can we spend some time, maybe 20, 30 minutes, reviewing the materials from chapter 1? Okay, so page 8. Those people who look for things from the past. Which word is it? Of course, say archaeologist. To keep the tomb safe, to keep some place safe, guard. And we can in the picture we can see statues of animals, mostly cats, right? And those things we put around the arms for decoration, say bracelet. Yes. And king's chair, the chair of the king, throne, right? And so chapter 1 we talk about must be, might be, and can't be, right? So from the beginning, um, why does Howard Carter said it might be the entrance of the pharaoh's tomb? It might be. Um, is it? It might be, right? We use green for might be. It might be the entrance. He didn't get in, right? How about then they found a corridor and um, more steps, and they still hadn't got in. They were still outside. That's why they say it might be empty, right? Because it might be some thieves who made the holes in the corridor. And in number 3, why do they say there must be another secret room? Ever since they found a door, right? They're inside the room, they found another door, so they assume there must be a secret room. And how about when they try to get in, what do they say? It must be King Tutankhamun's body. They're very sure ever since they found a name right on the door, right? And also, I why did Howard Carter say it must be there must be treasure in this room? He didn't get in, but he made a hole and he saw from the hole. He saw, what did he see? Goat animals, goat statues, jewelry, earrings, bracelets, right? Wonderful things. And how about at the end, they finally found a mummy in a box, and right inside the box, the mummy was wearing a beautiful, super beautiful goat mask. That's why they say it must be King Tutankhamun's body. It must be his mummy, right? Great. So must be, you're very sure. Might be, you're not so sure, right? Great. So reader story. What does David Tennyson do? He is a archaeologist, right? He's an archaeologist about the secret of the tomb. Who guards the tomb? First of all, who built the tomb? The king's son built the tomb. And who still guards this tomb right now? A faithful dog still guards the tomb right now, right? And does David Tennyson believe about what the villagers say? He doesn't believe them, right? So he said, no, it can't be true. It's a rather unusual story, but it can be true. He doesn't believe in it. What does he believe? He believes in science, and that's why he tried to figure out what the beast was. It's actually a dog, right? So, who is buried in the tomb? The king. Mr. On's great 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 grandfather is buried in the tomb. And why did Mr. On want David to keep the secret? He wanted to keep the tomb safe, right? And that's why he got this mysterious wild creature. He tried to make the villagers believe that there's a beast, there's a monster, right? But at the end, what did David Tennyson suggest? He suggested that Mr. On turn this tomb into a museum to keep it safe and to share the story. An interesting kind of solution, right? So remind of, make somebody think of something. So, what does the story remind Angelo of? The story reminds Angelo of Bigfoot. Okay, Angelo believes that Bigfoot must be true. But why does Yasmin said, no, it can't be true. No, it can't be true. Why? First of all, Angelo thinks it must be true because people have taken pictures of Bigfoot, right? But Yasmin just said, no, 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 no. Bigfoot can't be real. Can't be real. Why? Because no one has ever found a dead Bigfoot, right? And what does Yasmin think? That Bigfoot in the picture must be. She believes it must be a man in a costume. It must be a joke, right? And Angelos just said, no, it can't be a man in a costume. Why? Man's costume could be large, but men's feet aren't 60 centimeters long, right? But what is Yasmin said? It might be. It might be a man wearing boots, which are 60 centimeters long, right? And Angelo just said, no, 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 it can't be a joke. I've seen people making videos of a Bigfoot. I've seen a video of Bigfoot on the internet. So it must be real. It can't be a joke. But Yasmin says that even videos can be a joke. Why? She has seen a video of a dog talking, and ever since a dog do not talk, that's why she believes it must be a joke, right? Great. So, Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle. Right. There are a lot of unexplained stories, unexplained mysteries about the boats and the airplanes that have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. How many ships and airplanes have disappeared in this area, Bermuda Triangle? More than 50 ships, more than 20 airplanes have disappeared in this area in the last century, right? So where is the Bermuda Triangle? The Bermuda Triangle is in the Atlantic Ocean. So in the picture, you can see Atlantic Ocean is quite large. And which part of the Atlantic Ocean is the Bermuda Triangle in? It's in the Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda here, and Florida and Puerto Rico, right? It's a triangle where the water is deep, okay? Deep water, which means it's supposed to be easier for boats to drive, to go through, but many ships and many even airplanes have disappeared in this area. Why so many airplanes and boats just disappeared in this area? Some people think that bad weather can explain the mysteries, but sometimes the weather is fine. The weather is all right. So some people believe that underwater volcanoes erupt and release bubbles of gas. And these bubbles of gas from the volcanoes, underwater volcanoes, actually make the ships sink. So tell me, what can underwater volcanoes release when they erupt? Underwater volcanoes can release bubbles of gas, which make the ship sink when they erupt, right? But also, some people believe that aliens have taken those ships and airplanes away, or it's a gap for time traveling. And the ships and boats just traveled to a different time. But can anyone prove what had happened? Can anyone prove? No, no one can prove what happened right here, right? So here's some unusual things which had happened in this area. So let's check out. So how many people were on the USS Cyclops in 1918? So in 1918, an enormous ship called the USS Cyclops, and its crew of 309 people just disappeared after leaving Barbados. Barbados is also in this area. It's a beautiful island where a lot of people like to go there for vacation. Okay, and how many military airplanes just disappeared in this area in 1945? 5 military airplanes have disappeared. Disappeared in this area. Okay, in 1945. It's a very sensitive kind of time, actually. And how many passengers were on the airplane that went missing in 1958? 32 passengers were on the airplane that went missing in 1958, right? And when did the ship called the Marine Sulphur Queen just disappeared in this area? In 1963, a ship called the Marine Sulphur Queen just disappeared, and the crew of 39 people never appeared, never showed up again. Okay, they were never found. Nobody ever found them. Great. It's a sad story, but I say great simply because we finished reviewing. Okay, so in this chapter we talk about must be, might be, can't be. Okay, let's check out some real examples. So page 17. Ever since we said what's behind the door, you don't really see behind the door, so you try to guess. This is why we say it might be. Okay, there it might be a tomb. Okay, and two men just made it. Two men right there. They're made of gold. They're not real men, so they are not real men. They're so I'll try smaller. So there must be statues who guard the tomb, right? How about a chair made of gold? Gold chair, gold chair. When you see a very unusual kind of gold chair, it must be a throne, right? And you see something which has 4 legs, but are you sure what it is? 4 legs, but it might be a table, because 4 chairs, it could be a chair, it could be a table, it could be a bed, it could be anything, right? You're not so sure. It might be a table. And how about the gold circles? The bracelet, too small. They're too small. So they're too small, so they can't be bracelets, right? They can't be bracelet. And the mummy is wearing something right on his face. So right on the face, so it must be a mask, all right? And how about for this page, let's also check out the workbook, activity book. Right, we have our activity book right here, right? So page 6. As you can see in the picture, we can see the bracelet. We can see right here the king's chair, the throne, right? And right here we see a mask and the mummy, number 5, right? And in number 6 we see statues, and also in number 4 we see an archaeologist, right? Okay, so right on page 7, I've highlighted all the keywords for you to decide if it's must be or might be. Okay, so the statues protect the tomb. They protect the tomb, so they the guards. The guards. They protect, so they must be the guards, right? Good. So when you say think, mostly we're not so sure. So when Carter just saw the hole, he thought it might be empty. Okay, he's not so sure. And the door says Tutankhamun, which means that there is a name right on the door. So that's why we say it must be the pharaoh's tomb, the king's tomb. And if you see the jewelry, um, it could be a lot of treasure, but are you sure jewelry? There must be earrings. Maybe you got the rings, you got bracelet, you got everything, but we're not so sure they have earrings. So there might be. Okay, look at the jewelry. Okay, there might be earrings here, but there's no clue for us um, to say, or we're sure there must be earrings. This is why. So Carter found a tomb. Carter found a very special tomb, a very famous tomb, King Tutankhamun. Okay, it's a legend. This is why he must be a very good archaeologist, right? And for this letter, so they found a door. Then they are sure that must be the door to the king's tomb. So they didn't get in, but why do they say there must be treasure? There must be treasure. Why? There must be treasure. Sorry, must be, right? Because he saw gold animals, gold statues, and jewelry. Even he made a hole, he saw things inside, even though he didn't get in. And there is a big box, and he thinks the mummy might be inside because he thinks, he's not so sure, but it also might be empty, right? So but finally Howard Carter just found what he has wanted to find for such a long time. He has wanted to find. He has been trying to find it, and he finally found it. So he must be very excited, right? And how's life at home? I'm sure. So life must be very boring. Why do we say? Why does he say life must be boring? Ever since Evelyn, Lord Carnarvon's daughter, just had so much fun. She just found so many new things in Egypt with Howard Carter and his father. Okay, great. So, for the Nile River, dark shapes. So I'm not sure. So might be right. So picture writing. We've said picture writing, it equals hieroglyphics. So they found picture writing. That's why it must be hieroglyphics. Okay? It must be hieroglyphics. And also, they saw something. They also saw something. What did they see? They saw a papyrus. Papyrus. Ancient Egyptians used papyrus to make paper or shoes. And when you see papyrus, it must be very old, right? It must be very old. And later, they plan to ride on camels, right? They plan to ride on camels tomorrow. And Evelyn is scared. She was scared, but I'm so scared. But who knows? It might be fun. Okay, it might be fun. Okay, ever since she hasn't tried it, she was scared. She wasn't sure if she wanted to do it, but she still said it might be fun. Okay, it might be or it might not be. Okay, good. So for this part, I believe we reviewed. For each chapter for lesson 8 in the activity book is always a good chance to review everything from this chapter in an efficient way. So let's try to check the answer. So opposite to appear, either appear. So say disappear, right? Disappear, right? So unusual opposite usual, right? Usual, right? So which word that doesn't belong? Which word is not in the same category? Statue, none. Prove, verb. Throne, none. Mask, none. So prove. That's why we choose prove. Okay, good. Unusual, actually adjective. Unexplained, adjective. Beast, none. Imaginary, adjective. Okay, beast. Great. So Bigfoot, true, because there are photos. Angelo saw the photos, so that's why he just said food. What? Must be, can be, might be. Must be true, right? Must be true. Must be true. How about Yasmin? No one has ever found that that Bigfoot. So it can't be real. Just wake up. No, it's not real. It can be real, right? So, why did people make traps in the past, in ancient times? They made traps to stop thieves from from stealing things from inside the tombs, right? And how about David Tennyson's job? What does he do? He is an archaeologist, right? Right. And sorry, that's my dog. Okay, so I don't know whose bag that is. It is. I don't know whose bag it is. So I don't know. I don't know. So it might be. It might be. Okay, we almost finished. We almost finished. Right. All the answers are correct. You got all the answers correct. So you must be a very good student, right? So which word is it? Guard, right? Guard. Okay. And how about this? Exist. Very good. Exist. Great. Practice together. Okay. So a bird. It doesn't have wings. It doesn't have wings. So it can't be a bird. It can't be a bird. How about it? An alien. Aliens do not exist. I don't believe in aliens. So it can't be an alien. Okay. It can't be. And the ocean where the Bermuda Triangle is in the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean. Okay, ocean. Great. So how about one country, uh, which is which forms the Bermuda Triangle? We got Bermuda. We got Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Okay, in Spanish. And also, we've got Bermuda. Bermuda is a country. Bermuda. And Florida. Florida is a state in the USA. Okay, so you can choose either to answer. Okay, do you think Bermuda Triangle is true? You can say yes, I do. No, I don't. Okay, or do you think Bigfoot story is true? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Okay, so basically, must be, can be, might be. I don't think it's too difficult. Just review and make sure you review your vocabulary from chapter 1, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye.